I was honored to be recognized by the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children as a champion for children. At this point, I'm further honored in that Nancy Kaplan has asked me to tape my remarks for that occasion to be used for the Rochester's Child 25-year celebration. I've been volunteering in early childhood for about 30 years, and I like to say that my journey has really been guided by 4 sentences. So let me tell you about them. In 1987 or 88, I was running out the door of the corporate offices to get to that daycare center before they started charging me $5 a minute. That was the penalty if you were later than 6 o'clock. My good friend, Don, jumped in front of me at the door and stopped me and said, "Aha, cutting out early." I was just all over him. "How could you say that? I have been here since 8 o'clock. I'm a working mother. It's 5:45. I have to get out of here." We had kind of a big screaming match in the hall, but actually what came out of that was that I had a chance to start a work and family function at Bausch and Lomb. Because I was doing this work and family function, I was able to meet a lot of other corporate human resource managers from other big companies around Rochester. And we formed, at that point, we formed the seeds of what is still our early childhood initiative today. A couple of years after that, I was invited to a conference that the Community Foundation had sponsored. And at that conference, I heard a researcher from the Bank Street School of Education, and he was the first person to tell me about the Perry High Scope research. $1 invested in high-quality early education pays back $7 in the avoidance of later social services costs. I thought, I'm not doing anything at Bausch and Lomb that's paying me back $7 for $1 that I'm investing. So I became really interested in funding for high-quality early education. At about the same time, the famous Joe U. Posner asked if I would join Rochester's Child. And Rochester's Child, at that point, dedicated almost all of its energy to accreditation as a vehicle for bringing up the quality of both family child care and center-based child care. So we worked on that for a number of years, and there was a point in the early 1990s where Monroe County had a higher number of accredited family and center-based care than any place else in the country. It was quite a credit to Rochester's Child, really. A few years after that, my young assemblyman, who is now the majority leader, Joe Morelli, came to me, and he knew I was interested in quality early education, and he said, "The speaker has a plan. He's calling it the Ladder Program." And what this was the beginning of pre-K in New York State. Our early childhood initiative went to the school district and said, "Let's get on this train. Let's start pre-K here in Rochester." And we talked to them about the investment value and how important early education was. The school district did not want to embark on pre-K. They really said to us, "We can't manage K to 12. Why would we want to add another grade?" Our initiative said, "Okay, then we'll do it ourselves." And we went back and broke down the proposal from the state. Each of us took a section and we wrote the pre-K plan. At the same time, we went to the school board members and really advocated and educated them about the importance of early education, so that by the end of the year, the school board passed the pre-K plan that we had written. That pre-K plan really required strong collaboration between the school district and the community, and that collaboration is still a success today. 15 to 20 years later, it's something we're still real proud of. So, not so long after that, a few years after that, I had another opportunity to again move me forward in early education. We continue to have our UPK advisory committee, And at one of our meetings, I said, "Oh, our pre-K is going so well. Our 4-year-olds look so good. Why don't we start to look at our 3-year-olds and see if we can improve the quality for our 3-year-olds?" Across the room from me was an elementary principal who said, "Not until you do something about kindergarten." "What do you mean, not until we do something about kindergarten?" And he said, "In the city school district, you are asking your 4 and 5-year-olds to do things that in the suburbs, they're not asking them to do." So we started to look at the K curriculum, and indeed, the kindergarten curriculum was not developmentally appropriate. This has started us on many years of conversation, dialogue, negotiation with the school district. It's again given us an opportunity to take advantage of Rochester's Child. Over the years, while we've been talking about this kindergarten curriculum, thanks to Rochester's Child and the Community Foundation, we've been able to bring a lot of developmentally appropriate materials into the school district. So we've been able to buy blocks, sand and water tables, listening stations, math mats, history boxes, science kits. All of these things have been huge assets for the teachers and for the children who are in those elementary grades. And after all of these years of talking about it, right now we're on the verge of moving forward, working with the school district and bringing a more developmentally appropriate curriculum to K1 and 2 in our school district. So that's my journey. Those are my 4 sentences. Cutting out early, $1 invested pays back $7. The speaker has a plan. Not until you do something about kindergarten. And so what's my point here? I think that all of us who are working in this field have an opportunity most days to hear something that we hadn't thought of. Maybe it's some research, maybe it's a criticism, maybe it's a concern, maybe it's a new idea. But I think if we're listening, it can really lead us to the next important challenge in early education. For me, it's led me to 30 years of the best job I've ever had in my life. And I will close with a thanks to the Community Foundation and Rochester's Child for supporting me for all those years. Thanks.